If there are any questions, I'll be glad to try to find answers, because we really would like to move forward on these four things anyway, in particular the brochure.
Thank you very much for the plan for the highway markers. I know that was one of the things that the committee wanted to see for their funding recommendation
And I've
to
got
council.
these little notes. We'll try to, we don't meet until, well, I guess it's a week from this Thursday, if that would not be too late. Just let the committee decide, okay, where would we sort of like to have them. And I don't think you wouldn't hold us to within a few feet of every place, surely,
Just to give council an idea,
Yeah.
I would think they would want an idea of locations before they approve the signs. And so
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can do that. Anybody else?
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I guess it's all up to you, isn't it?
I think it's really up to Sherry.
Sherry, you're gonna make Sherry do the talking this time?
Yeah, well, Sherry's done the work, so she's gonna do the talking.
Let's see, you're gonna start, and
Yes.
we have Kate Rankin's here to answer some questions about the drama program too. And if I could ask you to pass those down, that's some documentation that isn't in your packets.
Let me go ahead and you're passing that out to me. You want me to do the vision statement or just the mission statement?
Probably
Okay.
both in our goals, but we're gonna tie everything back to
Okay.
that.
Just, start out with, because our goals and our budget really come from the vision statement, the mission statement, and the, our goals. Summerfield is a town that respects the history of the community and balances growth with the preservation and utilization of our natural, cultural, physical, and citizen resources to enhance our quality of life and our small town identity. Our SPART mission statement, the mission of the Summerfield Parks and Recreation Committee is to enlighten and enrich life and to work toward the preservation of the environment by providing quality parks, facilities, and services designed for people of all ages and ability. So we have basically three overall goals for 2009-2010 that drive our selection for budget items. First is to develop and implement a plan for Summerfield Community Park community events and activities. Second, develop a long-range parks and recreation plan, including acquisition and use of additional parkland and future needs for trails, various kinds of parks, recreation facilities, conservation and open space land, a plan for the Armfield property and other properties offered to the town. And number three is to develop a long-term master plan landscape for Summerfield Community Park.
Okay, we have a large number of things to go over here, and do you have any particular order that you want to take it in, Michael? Programs first?
For my purposes, I'd like you to focus on new stuff versus ongoing things that have been funded in the past. So new programming discussion would come first, and we can go from there.
Okay, all right, under new programs, well, that's a tough one to start in on.
Well, I
That's the first one.
guess let me help you out. Looking at this, your personnel dues and subscriptions pretty much stays the same. Your advertising is a little bit up because you want to fund programming. The elementary track is down, and that may not get funded at all, because we looked at that and we believe they've probably got all the funds they need for this next fiscal year.
So we could even just
So
drop
just
that
drop
one
that.
We
out.
can drop that one out completely because what was happening was we were funding a bank account at the school. And
What are you dropping out?
the Summerfield Elementary track, in prior years, we were actually funding them, and we weren't getting the support for what we were funding. It was just we were giving them money, and they have a bank account actually set up where they were depositing the money. And so they would just use those funds as needed. And so there's no reason for us to keep funding a bank account if they're not gonna use the funds. They're using them, it's just they're not using them as quickly as we were funding them. So I talked to the individual, I guess it's the treasurer of the school, and my recommendation is gonna be that we actually start paying those bills, and then we can get the sales tax back from the state on those. And that way we'll have better control over it, and we can also coordinate it with some park maintenance and get cheaper pricing potentially as well. So,
But in the meantime.
For this budget, we can draw it
Yeah.
off.
yeah.
Great, that's good news, okay. One of the new programs is the advertising that we're requesting for the entire overall Parks and Rec program. To develop, for instance, some of the ideas have been an insert into the Northwest Observer and the News and Record Hometown that has a list of all the activities and programs coming for the next, say, 3 months. Or possibly a list, a more frequent once-a-month list in the newspapers of everything that's going to happen this month. So it's an overall advertising program, because this really is going to be the first year that programs and activities are worked into the budget. So that's the idea behind that.
Is the park listed in Guilford County as part of their parks and recreation facilities?
By Guilford County?
Yeah. You know, if you go to Parks and Recreation in Guilford County, you got Bar Mill, you got this, you got that. It's-
No,
I think
because
those are
some-
Greensboro, because
Because those are all the Guilford County parks.
Right.
And then Greensboro would have its Greensboro parks listed separately. I don't think there's a master
Okay.
place for all parks and
We
recreation.
could work to.
I mean, we could certainly look at links and things of that nature.
I have seen there, about once a year, there's a whole brochure that comes out with lists
Right, I've
of
seen that.
all of the
I've
recreational
seen that.
activities, and this last year they did put in
Oh,
Summerfield.
okay.
But as a separate category, since it's not really a Guilford Park. On the education, there's a CBM conference once a year, which is the boards, let me get the right name for you here. I'm drawing a blank.
Community based,
Community board members.
community board members.
Community board members, state forum, and Sue and I went last year and found it very helpful. It's totally targeted at Parks and Recreation and targeted at community board members and committee members like we are. So several of our newer people on our committee expressed an interest in going. It's held here in Greensboro, and the bulk of the things are on one single day.
How much is the cost per person, do you know?
It will be, it's less than $100 for the one day. Advanced registration is $85 per person.
Do you, is this amount here just for the conference and the whole education 500? Do we anticipate sending 4 or 5 individuals? Or is
Yes, 4 or 5 individuals indicated interest, and we did not have any other conferences other than that one item.
this-
Okay. The per diem, we have not used it in the past. However, we anticipate wanting to go see the drama outdoor amphitheater program that's in Louisville. If our drama grant is approved, we'll be interested to see how they develop their program